Hey guys, Anthony back at you with another nuts and bolts segment here. Today we're going to talk about bass pickups. I'm going to try and keep this kind of brief, not too long-winded on it. It's going to be somewhat opinionated based, somewhat fact-based, just sort of what you can expect to get out of the different pickup configurations. I'm obviously going to cater this towards what we here at Empire Music carry a lot of, which is Fender. So we're going to talk a lot about P-bass pickups and jazz bass pickups. But we'll dive into humbuckers briefly and maybe some more vintage inspired pickups as well, because we do have some of that stuff here on the floor. But you know, just to talk about sort of what, like I said, what you can expect to get out of the different type of pickup configurations and the different type of pickups. So I'm holding this here, which is a Fender American Elite Series bass, and I'm holding it for a good reason, just to show really two distinct styles of pickups with Fender: precision bass pickup and jazz bass pickup. When we talk about a true jazz bass, so we'll pan over to here, that's going to be this pickup configuration with two longer single coil pickups in it, and just a regular P bass would be here with a split single coil, two single coils over there. Sonically, what those guys bring to the table, this isn't going to be like a real strong playing demo. I just want to talk about it and kind of educate you guys and let you make the decision as far as what you think is going to work for you. And we're obviously here to help. But with a P-bass pickup with the split single coil, so that's basically a coil here and a coil here. Those are hum canceling, not a true humbucking pickup, which we'll briefly get into in a sec. But they're hum canceling because basically these coils are canceling each other out as far as the 60 cycle hum. So they're relatively noiseless pickups. What they always offer is a big, fat, woody, round kind of sound. It's very indicative of a P-bass. Inserting opinion, my favorite type of bass pickup. For the type of music that I play, it tends to fit really well. They're more versatile than people think, depending on where you attack with your hand and what you can do with a tone knob. And a great pickup configuration gives you one of each. When we talk about jazz bass pickups, with the two single coils, so these are just one coil and one coil here. When you operate these by themselves, you will get a little bit of 60 cycle hum out of it. They're a little noisier than what a straight P-bass pickup gives you. But they sometimes aren't quite as fat sounding as what you get out of a P-bass. The jazz bass pickups have a little bit more top end articulation and a little bit more clarity to them. For the modern player that might be into playing, you know, more slap orientated bass, a jazz bass pickup might be the way for you to go. Where P-bass sounds great with slap, but it definitely has a woodier kind of rounder tone to it. So aside from the characteristics of the pickups, with the jazz basses you have a volume, and a tone, so you can blend these two together. With a P-bass, you just have volume and tone, so that's all you're operating on. When we dip over to the American Elite here, you have a volume, master volume, and you can split between the two pickups, so you can go in the middle and go between, so you can blend in, you know, where you want them as far as having the P and the J. So a nice versatile setup is having one and one, because when you turn this one off, you're really left with just that P-bass kind of tone, whether we're talking about an active bass or a passive bass. This happens to be both. So, P-bass pickup, woodier, rounder, warmer, a little more vintagey, I like to say. Jazz bass pickup, a little bit more modern, a little zingier, a little bit more top end on it. So that's the two basic types of, you know, that Fender's going to offer. Now, we pick up a flea bass, and this is built kind of like a Music Man bass here. What we have in this is a big old boy here. This is a humbucking pickup. Two coils in there. Humbucking, two coils cancel each other out, the hum from one another. So what's the difference between the humbucking and the hum canceling in the P-bass is this is what I find to be just a little bit brighter, a little bolder of a pickup. Tends to work really well with active electronics, as this has. And this doesn't offer any coil tapping or coil splitting. And that's a whole nother discussion that I know our store manager Todd's going to do a video on that. So you can check that out on YouTube and our Facebook page as well, to give some more insight into what coil tapping and coil splitting are. They are different things. So that's a humbucking pickup. It gives you a little bit of both from the angle of sonic space that it kind of encapsulates. A little bit of P, a little bit of J, versatile pickup, brighter, generally hotter, a little bit more dB as far as the output. And then we get into something like on these two awesome Seric basses we have here. This is, I believe, 2 Guild Bisonic pickups, and this is like a Seric hand-wired B90, which is basically like a P90 bass pickup. And those are going to be more vintage-inspired pickups, warmer, rounder, kind of fatter, sort of have more of like the P-bass thing going on with them. And not to get too far into the the guts of the pickups, but something like this has an Alnico 2 magnet in it. Something like this, I believe, has an Alnico 5 magnet in it. Those are different alloys. The more Alnico, the brighter it's going to be, the more modern it's going to sound, kind of generalizing there. With an Alnico 2 magnet, it's going to be older sounding, not quite as much output, a little bit warmer, not as much top end to it. And then what type of magnets in the pickup? I believe all these have some form of Alnico magnet in it, but you can get into some Music Man stuff that has a ceramic magnet in it too. Ceramics tend to have a tendency to be very bright, very brash. I read something while kind of like brushing up some information for this video. It was a good quote. It said, "A bad ceramic pickup sounds bad." Makes sense. A good ceramic pickup sounds really good, so you can get into like some Duncan design stuff that has ceramic magnets in it. A lot of Music Man stuff has that in it. They sound great. They're very bright. They're very modern. You'd have to scoop some of the tone out. So, like again, the recurring theme with me, no right or wrong. Find out what you like. Own a few different ones. Play a few different ones. You can always swap pickups out. It's easy to do. We do it here. We have a great tech in-house. We can easily swap pickups out for you, or you can do it yourself. Find a way to do it. You can always change the tone up. So try them all, but that's a kind of a general guideline as to what you're going to find in bass pickups. Any questions, call me here at the shop, 412-343-5299 if it's bass related. If it's guitar related, I'd probably point you over in Todd's direction. And check us out at empiremusiconline.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit us up on Instagram and on Facebook, and we're here to help, man. Thanks. Bye.